Hello, my name is Wiz. I'm the founder of WIZZ&CO, a brand and retail strategy agency. I wanted to talk to you today about Aesop. They've just been sold for a phenomenal amount of money, and I wanted to break this down into 3 key points that you need to be considering when you're building your brand. Number 1 is positioning and aligning this to consumer trends. So when Aesop launched, they were all about clean, natural, very high quality ingredients. But they married this with a really design-led aesthetic. So actually, there were a lot of consumers out there that were looking for something that was much more, I suppose, clean. But actually, those products around at that time weren't necessarily design-led. They were kind of very much either apothecary style, which Aesop certainly leans into a little bit. With their kind of brown bottles, but actually they kind of created a real design element around this as well. And the way they positioned their brand, it was almost like Apple, as in Apple iPhones, laptops, Steve Jobs, the Apple of, I suppose, bath and body. They made it really, really aspirational, really cool and really design-led, by also kind of collaborating with and positioning their brand as kind of the real luxury, top tier. It was very expensive compared to a lot of other hand washers and bath and bodies brands out there. So they kind of really wanted to create this really aspirational aesthetic as well. This was very linked to what was happening with the way consumers were behaving. It was something that people wanted to have on their kitchen sink. And a lot of this positioning was done through the second point, which I'm going to talk about, which is their distribution strategy. So as well as creating the positioning in the market, that aspiration of that kind of what consumer wants, that was something different, that was luxury, that was cool, that they wanted other people to see that they had, their distribution strategy was really crucial. Again, something I'm really passionate about supporting brands with. It was very strategic. They only went with key retailers in each market. So they were very streamlined on their approach. They didn't back down on what their vision was. They wanted to have a really strong branded representation in the stores that they went into. So that there's their retail partnerships. They wanted to have shop in shops. They wanted to have a design-led aesthetic, having unique shop concepts into every retail environment they have, which you can also see through their standalone stores. They said no to a lot of retailers that approached them as well over the years. Again, having this really streamlined distribution channel can be really powerful. I mean, that was a number of years ago now, kind of 8 years ago, maybe more, 10 years ago. I remember when I was kind of negotiating them with when I was working at a big retailer. But actually, this is just as important today, if not more, as it was then. It's really important to balance your distribution strategy with kind of retail partners against your D2C strategy. Aesop also had very strong standalone store presence, a really great customer experience, again from unique shop fits with different architects within their own stores as well as with their retail partners. But actually it's getting more and more challenging for brands to build their D2C business. The cost of digital advertising going up and kind of all of the challenges in that space, and people craving that, I suppose, human interaction and going back to physical shopping post-pandemic as well, particularly in the beauty category. So really balancing that distribution strategy of your D2C channels versus your retailer strategy and kind of other collaborative partners that you may be selling on is really, really important. Another key theme that I work with brands on around where are you selling your products and how do you build the hype for that brand and the, I suppose, again, the positioning with your retailers as well as that positioning with your kind of product offer and what you're selling to consumers. And point number 3, again, this leads on very nicely, is how do you create the hype for a brand? Again, it's something I'm very passionate about. How do you be seen and heard in the right places across multiple touch points without kind of saturating the market as well and overwhelming the customer? So again, you want to be in the right with the right partners, and that is everything from your distribution strategy, but who is talking about your brand? Where else are you being positioned? Are there other collaborations and partnerships that you should be part of? There was a huge amount of kind of cool restaurants and bars, hotels that you could find Aesop in. It was the brand of choice for many, many years. So again, by creating that limited distribution, by creating that aspirational price point, that kind of really design-led product, those really, I suppose, core sensorial amazing hero products and scents that they created as well. That lovely grainy hand wash, for example, they had some really hero products that were very I suppose signature blends really for Aesop. So again, kind of that positioning and that marketing, they made sure they were in the right places. And as a result, they didn't do a huge amount of digital advertising. They didn't do a huge amount of, I suppose, outreach where they're kind of really trying to pull in a lot of new customers. It was really done by kind of creating that hype, that word of mouth, that if you had this product in your bathroom, you were cool. Again, like Apple, if you have an Apple phone, you the way that they built that brand and positioned it, that actually you were the creative, you were the design-led person that had that MacBook Air. So really kind of creating that aspiration. So again, this is really important and relevant today more than ever. It's getting more and more expensive to be able to market your brand, and actually creating that hype for your brand, creating that real brand loyalty and that kind of word of mouth and that kudos around owning something from that brand is a really powerful and profitable way to grow your business. So to recap those 3 key points you need to be thinking about: your positioning in the market and how that aligns to consumer trends. And this is something I recommend you review on a regular basis. Consumer behaviour and trends change, so it's really important that you're aligning to them. And also a lot of other brands pop up around you. So again, it's really important to be reviewing this on a regular basis, and something I do at the start of working with every client through a workshop that then leads on to strategy, mentoring and advisory. The second point is your distribution strategy. I've spent 18 years working in retail. I was head of beauty buying at Selfridges. I have worked with thousands of brands over the years. A limited distribution strategy can build some of the biggest brands out there. We've seen that with Aesop. It wasn't available to buy everywhere. It wasn't available on Amazon. Amazon is great for certain products, but if you want to build that cult luxury brand, that's not for you. And we've seen it again with successes like Byredo, again in kind of the world of fragrance. Again, super aspirational, couldn't be found everywhere, and again was sold for a huge amount of money. Same with Charlotte Tilbury, again a very limited distribution strategy, focusing on key retail partners in key territories, but also with standalone stores as well. Again, it's something I help brands map out, pitching to the right retailers, really defining your distribution strategy so it's not too broad. And then how can you really trade and maximize those retail partnerships, but also then leveraging your D2C business. And the third point is really marketing and where you're putting your budget to create the most amount of hype and the most amount of profit. And you need to be focusing at every stage of the customer journey, from awareness to interest to purchase, retention, loyalty and brand advocates, but actually where you're spending the biggest percentage of your time, budget, team's energy is really important. So building up that brand retention, that loyalty is really, really important, because once you put that loyalty, you create that hype where your brand is seen and heard in the right places, the right people are talking about it, you're getting that really kind of amazing word of mouth through that, oh my God, I need to have a part of this brand, I need to go and purchase it. And that's a really, really powerful way to build businesses. And again, it's much more profitable, particularly in the current climate. This is really relevant. A lot of people reviewing their marketing budgets, they're spending less, or their budgets are staying the same, or they're recognizing that actually the cost of customer acquisition is really escalating. So those are the 3 key points today. I would love to know what you think about these 3 points and where you're at in your business, and what you think you potentially need to adjust based on my kind of 3 themes today. So please do drop your thoughts in the comments. I love to hear from you, and we'll reply back to you as well. So let me know what you think. My name is Wiz. Please do follow me on LinkedIn and Instagram, where I put out most of my content. Speak to you soon.